Love is beautiful in the beginning, isn't it? We walk together, we talk together, we learn about each other. This is the start of romance. Romance that turns day into night, phone calls into hours, and stayovers into weeks. But then what happens after we get comfortable? Our relationships turn stale as old movie popcorn. Today, we're going in a different direction. We are going to learn how to stay in love after the romance period has faded. Welcome to the 30-Day Love Challenge. Oh, and welcome to day 2 of the 30-Day Love Challenge. Now, if you were with us yesterday, I talked to you about why we fail at love. Because most of us do. Based upon upbringing, we fail at love, but we succeed. The teachings that we learned from our parents or people who were in our life in youth who taught us what to do when dealing with somebody we love. So we succeed that way. Even though the stuff's all wrong for us, we succeed. But today I'm going to show you how to succeed at love for real. Because like I told you yesterday, everybody was born to love. Nobody was born to hate. Especially not the person you chose to love. There should be no hatred in there. Now, I taught, when I counsel couples, be they men or females, for years. I said, I told the women, if you hate every guy in the world, just don't let that come into your house. I told the guys, if you hated all the women in the world, just don't bring that past your doorstep. So politics, hatred, disputed religion, all that sort of thing that is no good in a job workforce, it's no good in your house either. So if you have a worldview that's diametrically opposed to the person you live with, be they dating, spouse, whatever it is, a relationship is about becoming one, about seeing the other person's point of view, not just your point of view. You didn't get in a relationship just to get your point of view bounced back to you. You can get that from a male buddy. A woman get that from her girlfriend. You want to operate in an echo chamber. Now, I want you to learn how to really love today by understanding something I've been teaching for over 30 years. And that is that love, L-O-V-E, is an acronym. So if you can use it as an acronym, you can truly learn how to love. Now, let's look at L-O-V-E. Now, the L, I say, stands for leave. Okay? So if you follow these steps in your life, you will learn how to love. Now, we've still got almost 28 days left. This is just going to get you some cursory knowledge so you can get through the course. Remember, it's for free. And if you're listening, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about it, and don't forget to buy either my new book, The Red Book, or the book that preceded it, Salty People. Remember, Red Book tells you how to fix yourself before you get into another devastating relationship. Salty People instructs you how to fix the past that caused you this devastation. But let's get back into it. So L in there stands for leave. When you get with somebody and you want to love that person, you must leave where you came from. I told you just a minute ago, don't try to fight for your side in a relationship. In a modern day sense, be you male or females, some people think that for the other side to lose, they have to win. Or for them to win, you have to lose. This is not true. Relationship is a team. It's not a competition. Competition exists when you walk out the front door, going to work each morning, not when you come home. When you wipe your feet on the mat, all that stuff stays outside. This is what destroys many homes. Even beyond opposite gender, opposite religion, opposite income levels. The fact that we bring all of our childhood bearings about the world, be they race, religion, education, monetary value, or whatever you have, we put that like we're fighting a person, like they're Democrat and we're Republican or independent or some sort of thing like this in our home, you're going to bring a rift. Those rifts are okay outside, but not in a home. So remember, if you have children, they're watching. I used to always joke with the couples I counsel, if you can't get this right, just send me your children 18 years down the road, and I'll put them right here and I'll talk to them. So remember, L means leave from where you came from. Leave the person you were behind. You can't grow into anything until you leave where you came from behind. Now, I don't mean this doesn't take away from your life. You are who you are to the day you die, but you can always upgrade that image. But there has not been a person on this planet that has ever grown without leaving where they came from. We all started as babies. We couldn't walk, couldn't talk, couldn't reason as adults. All of us left that time period. It only gets to a certain time period where you stop growing. Okay? So what you have to do, like I said, is leave where you came from. Both in relationship, male and female, both. They have to leave where they came from in order to blend. Like I said before, there's never been anybody on this planet, including you, at your job where you didn't leave where you came from. I don't care if you worked at McDonald's. McDonald's doesn't take people as they are. Initially, when you first get hired, yes. But what do you have to do? You have to learn how to cook on the grill, do the front line, do the drive-through, milkshakes, what have you. I don't care if you're at the top of the food chain. If you want to seek wealth, what do you have to do? You have to leave mentally, emotionally, way before you do physically, where you came from. Because otherwise, you just won't fit in. You'll become a distraction to the team. You will be fired from that job. You'll be fired from whatever room you have, whatever place you live in. You have left every place that you've ever been. But most people go into relationships saying, my date, my mate, person I'm engaged to, or my spouse should accept me as I am. This is a fallacy. You don't believe so? Go anywhere in the world and tell people other than your family to accept you as you are. And you know full well that even your family won't accept you as you are. They require that you change. So when you deal in an interpersonal relationship, which is behind closed doors, in public, a lot of people can be phony, but when you're at home with your mate, spouse, whatever it be, this is real. It's just like your family when you were a child. We get two chances in life to destroy relationships. We can destroy relationships when we're children with our birth family, destroy that, lose contact. Then you have a second option when you get with somebody that you love or you say you love. If you destroy that relationship, ultimately down the road, you lose contact and contact with these people. So you must leave where you came from, psychologically where you came from. Because if you don't leave where you came from, you can never get where you're going. So a lot of people, if they're married for several years, they try to hold on to who they are. And the main complaint or concern in counseling when people come to see you, this person never changes. My wife's the same person I married. She doesn't accept my opinion. She always wants to argue. She's hard to get along with. She says my husband is the same. I wish he would change. Change the music, change his clothes, anything. But it's always, there is no change. You don't have relationship counseling where the spouse or the person normally says, this person just changes too much. I don't know what to do. Now, so if you leave where you are, you can join somebody else. Remember, you have to leave who you are before you walk on the McDonald's premises in order to become a part of crew member. You have to leave where you are before you walk into Microsoft's door, even as an engineer or programmer, before you become part of the team. They're not interested in your game plan. They're interested in their game plan. So relationships are like a game plan. You have to leave where you are to become one. Which brings us to the second letter of love, which is O. Once you leave where you are, you observe. So this is both people relationship, not just one. So you must observe the opposite person. It's your job to observe them. It's their job to observe you. So you observe these things. You observe their wants and desires. You also observe their pains and their animosity and their troubles in life. So you observe that from when they were young all the way into when you guys are together. So in effect, you know what they like as much as you know what they dislike. So you can observe those things and they can observe those in you. We try to cater to the positives and not the negatives. See, a lot of relationships, people cater to each other's negatives. People will tit for tat each other in a negative relationship, take it up higher and higher, they ratchet it up. But in very few relationships, people won't tit for tat for the positive. So people don't come to counseling and say, well, I bought him something, he gave me something bigger. I bought her something, he gave me something bigger. It doesn't go like that. They say, well, she bleached my clothes and I did this to her, and then she scratched my car and then I did this to her. You see? All the way until the police arrive. It's a tit for tat to the negative, never to the positive. Human nature is where we respond quickly to anger, quickly to revenge, but slowly to love. I'll say it again. Human nature is where we respond quickly to anger, quickly to revenge, quickly to get even, but very slowly to love. And this is what most people do. So you have people that will hold back when they first date. They'll say, well, I don't know. I better protect myself. I don't move too fast in this relationship. I make it hurt. So you're slowing up. I'm going to try to water this out. So we move slowly when it's time to love. But if they do something to you that's negative, you get them back immediately. As a matter of fact, you plot for a week to make sure it's a large revenge. So we leave who we are. Leave that mess out there. It's not going to help you anyway. You observe the person's wants and likes of their spirit. And we know what hurts them inside. So we won't do these things. Now the V in the LOVE is volunteer. So when I tell you this, it's not just for one person. Oftentimes when people come to counseling, they have a hang-up that only one person is trying a relationship. But this is silly, because if both don't try, usually the relationship breaks up. And then what is the first thing you miss? You miss the person. And then what do? You start to interact and do everything they wanted you to do while they're with you. One of my very first seminars I gave, way back in 1995, I would say, a crowd of people. My first book had come out back then. And I just asked a question to the crowd. Because normally times people try to keep quiet in relationship counseling or seminars. And I said, what would you have to do in a relationship if you got out of this one to get into another one? And a little small woman stood up in the back of the room. And you know what she said? She said you would have to do everything that you refuse to do in your current relationship and your next one. And I applauded her. She was right. So everything you're refusing to do now, you're going to have to do with the next person. As a matter of fact, some people take what they refuse to do and they heard their lover complain about it. Next relationship, they do those things. But the next person is different. So it's a whole new body. So you're wasting your time. Yeah. So we want to volunteer. Both people volunteer to the positives of the person. So we know what they love. So we want to volunteer to that. And like I said, at the same time, we don't want to do what hurts them, what's negative, the childhood problems, childhood issues. Because when you do it this way, it gives them a chance to get over that mess. If you don't, it gives them a chance to sharpen that mess, sharpen a pencil, even on you. So we're leaving who we were, we're observing the opposite person, what they like and what they dislike. Then we volunteer to cater to give them those things that they like. That's love. If you don't believe it, I often talk to women, and they tell me that they think that they're the first love in a guy's life. And as a matter of fact, they think they're teaching a guy how to love. This is untrue. This is the largest fallacy in human history. Most guys, by the time they meet women, already know how to love. They've been in a relationship for a long time with women. Who was it? Their mother. See, everybody may not have a father in the home, but most everybody has a mother. You know what mothers do? Mothers will buy their boys everything they ask for. All the clothes they want, games, shoes, Christmas, whatever. And mother will go whatever to give to her son. This is a relationship that lasted for 18 years. She loved on him, not a sexual relationship. So this way showed him what love was. So when he does get a relationship with a female that's just sex-based, or how I look, or you want something from him, he noticed a difference. This is why they move on or refuse to marry. Now, the mom bought him everything, never charged him a dime. So when guys grow up, the relationship changes. The guy is expected to give his every bit of income, love and respect to his woman. It's the first time in his life he has a wild swing. He was raised by a woman that gave him everything, all the money he needed, all the love. Now he's got to get in a relationship. He's got to give that stuff back. But in each case, he's not expected to receive that back. Sometimes not as much as even a thank you. So like I said before, let's move along. We want to leave who we were. That's messing us up to start with. We'll get into that in another series. We want to observe what they like, what they dislike, and cater to the positive, not the negative. Then we want to volunteer that sort of thing, positives versus negatives, right? The final one is E, and LOVE is E, and E stands for evolve. Now, most relationships with longevity, when you see the old couples together, or people loving each other, and you look at them like, wow, I wish I had that. I'm kind of jealous of that. And I had that for 36 years, so I know. You want to evolve. If you do those things, if you leave the mess you were behind, if you observe what that person likes and dislikes, if you volunteer to cater to those things instead of just sitting on it, over a period of time, months, years, decades, you guys will have evolved into the kind of couple that people will be totally jealous of. The kind with great grandchildren. You got your retirement, you got 1 or 2 homes, vacation homes, and you're living the life of it. This is where that stuff comes from. 2 people can work easily than 1. But if you don't do those things I just named for you, most couples will end their lifetime broke. Because it ends up being a competition between the 2. A couple can start out completely poor, but if you have one that uplifts the other along the journey, and both work as a team, you end up wealthy. So when you see couples that are wealthy that started with nothing, it's because they work together. It's not the job. Anybody can have a job. The guy that works at a job, his friend had a job right beside him, earning the same income. One whose spouse was mean ended up poor, destitute. The other one, prosperous. Single guy on a job, one way, and somebody who's not the other. So it's not an income. If you get with somebody, it is a team. And a team needs a team player. I'm sure you've seen basketball teams where you have people like Dennis Rodman. He thought he was a team himself. There's nobody else but him. You don't want to be this way in a relationship. It gets the kind of animosity that when you get to me in counseling, one spouse or one mate says to the other, I hated you, or I fell out of love with you 15 years ago. And I've heard stuff like this. So, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Stay with this course, and I guarantee you by the time we finish the 30-day love challenge, you will know what love is. You'll be to teach your children what love is. You'll wonder where love went, and you'll understand that the class that you were born to, your child, taught you the wrong things. And after you first went to the school, first grade, whatever, when you got into the group with your gender, they continued to teach you what love was, but they were incorrect. Their love was based on competition. What the opposite gender should do for you, what the opposite gender should give to you, what they did to you in the past. Even though when we get with somebody, they're born the same time we are. When you get with somebody, they're not born 100 years ago, so they can't answer to what people did 100 years ago. Till tomorrow, you guys stay safe. Have a great day.